Okay, so I haven't got out with you for a couple of days, but I want to share something that I took from a workshop yesterday. So I'm lucky enough to actually have a job, which is kind of awesome. So I did a Reiki 2 workshop yesterday, which I loved, and I do love doing, full stop. And I had taught as part of the day the wonderful method that Reiki has with regard to distance healing. So I'm a little bit out of it because I've just been to Peppa Pig World with my 4.5-year-old, so I'm not in a very zen place, so maybe this will help me get in a very zen place. So we did the distance healing, and I sat down with actually no intention of where my distance healing was going to go, which was kind of a fun thing to do, and in many ways is kind of like when you sit down for meditation with no intent of where it's going to go, just to see what's the highest good, what's the best thing that's coming. And my dad's mum really clearly stepped forward. I was like, okay, that's cool. And she was like, I'm taking this for the family, where it's due. Like, okay. You don't have to connect into anyone. You don't have to know where the energy's going. You don't have to do anything with it. I've just come here to take the energy. Cool beans. So I sat there, just sort of letting the energy go. Being very aware that she was stood right in front of me. And then I became aware of an image of my nan was showing me her brushing somebody's hair. An older lady with long dark hair who I think probably was quite ill before she passed, and it was a feeling of being small. Now I don't know if that's her own grandmother, but my feeling is that it was something to do with family, that there was a lady with long dark hair in the family who she was taking this energy back to in some way. And this old dark-haired lady, when she actually turned around in the end and looked at me having done her hair, she looked very much like my nan. So I thought, okay, I have a feeling that this might be my nan's grandmother. There was a couple of family photos, but I'm going to have a proper look, because this is going back on the maternal side. So bear in mind, this is my dad's line, but I am the next female, the next born female of the next generation. My dad's sister hasn't had any girls, so I am the female line on my dad's side entirely. Yeah, I'm the eldest female on my dad's side. So it was very interesting, this interaction with this lady who was showing me how to do some things from a very sort of earthy magic point of view, magic with a K, sort of hedge witchery, folk magic, that type of thing. And I thought, okay, there's probably more going back, and my feeling is my nan probably would have seen more as a small child than probably she would have ever let on. My great grandmother read tea leaves, so my feeling is that her own mother actually had a hell of a lot more knowledge, which was either afraid, people were afraid of it, so it wasn't used, or it was frowned on, or maybe a combination of the two things. So, it wasn't the done thing to do at that point in Britain for people who were trying to establish themselves within society. So she showed me a few little bits and pieces, which was really nice. So I was really feeling that connection on that side of the family from on a level which I don't have any real direction in. Because I don't have any direction. This isn't stuff that's, I haven't had anything handed down to me, but it's quite clear that it's obviously there. That there's obviously a gift which has been handed down, which I've missed out on the tutelage, and some of that stuff's kind of probably been lost in those generations where it wasn't talked about and it wasn't handed down and it wasn't discussed openly, or they were afraid of using it themselves. So it was interesting, and it was interesting how my nan was taking the energy over for that side of the family, because that's where it was needed the most. And that's fine, because actually it was serving me in one way without having to connect in to certain people, and it was also serving me in another way in terms of if you sort things out on the ancestral line, it's going to have an impact on you. It was a reoccurring theme throughout the day in terms of going back and trying to identify using the distance healing symbol, because it has other ramifications in terms of previous life, in terms of there being no future, no present, no past, any of that type of thing. So what it actually does is bridges that gap. So if you're looking to actually, you know, do something for your ancestral line, you can sit there and effectively do a self-heal. Something I know anyway. It wasn't something I've ever intended to sit down and do, but it was something that ended up happening. So, and you don't necessarily need to know Reiki or need to have that distance healing symbol in order to go back and do it. Just the fact that you're focusing on and going back and finding a seed of something along your ancestral line where a problem began, then you can do that. I've, you know, done that without using Reiki myself, just by focusing your intent and your energy on going back and trying to heal or sort out where either a family problem, a family feud, a physical genetic illness may have started, or, you know, even something like a fear which is passed down through the generations. You know, you might be scared of spiders, and your mother might be scared of spiders, and your mother's mother might be scared of spiders, etc., etc. I mean, that's a bit of a trite thing, but you know where I'm coming from. And actually, that's a really powerful thing to do for you and for your ancestral line and your family going back. And I think it's particularly important where there are gaps, where there are people missing, where, you know, you may not have known your mum, you may not have known your dad, you may be adopted, and it then can actually fill in the gap where it was lost. And quite often we reject family members, we reject fathers because of their behaviour, we reject mothers because of their behaviour, and we cut them out entirely. And it's really important that we don't actually reject them, that actually what we do is heal and embrace that. Doesn't mean that you have to have that person in your life. It doesn't mean that they're ever going to be in a position in this life in order to do it, or to get themselves in a position where they need to be. But what it can mean is that actually, come on baby, my ancestral line that I've created, come on, it can actually mean that what you do is heal a rift and accept and love that person without having to have them in your life. And you can send healing to it, and that's a really important and really powerful thing to do, because actually when you reject somebody along your ancestral line because of certain attributes in their personality, Tinker, what you actually do is reject, thanks Alice, what you actually do is reject those attributes which actually can make you stronger in yourself. So if you felt your mother was selfish or manipulative, actually if you reject her and those aspects, they can become stronger in your own personality. If you feel that your daughters are pain and really cute and annoying, then you might find that you're even more of a pain and you're even more cute and even more annoying. So it can happen going forward as well with your own children, with your own ancestral line, which actually it only occurred to me when she got in the bed that actually in rejecting certain aspects of your own children's personality, you can actually make them worse in your own personality. So this is important for healing your own family, going back and going forward. And I'm going to leave it there because she's a tinker and I haven't seen her today. Love, bye.